Hello and welcome to the Crochet Business School podcast, where you can use your crochet to build a business that will give you the lifestyle you've been dreaming of. So how much time do you actually spend crocheting in a crochet business? You may be surprised how little time you will get to crochet. There is an awful lot of things to do behind the scenes. There's your social media marketing, which is kind of the main way to find new customers these days. You have to take photos for your products. You have to design your product line and work out if it suits your customer base. You then have to do the work, whether that's making what you're going to post out, or creating the pattern, or writing the blog post, whatever it is, you do that part. And if you're designing the pattern and making an order, you get to crochet. But if you're just crocheting so you can get pictures or videos or creating tutorials, you're going to crochet a lot less. The more online you take your business, and that is, the less you sell what you make, the less time you're going to find yourself actually crocheting. Because online things need all the admin that comes with it. Even if you're just selling what you make, there's still an awful lot of admin to do. Social media requires consistency, which means you need to schedule at least one post a day. That's on one platform. You need a picture to go with it, so then you need to go and get your pictures. Your pictures need editing to make sure they look professional. That takes a bit more time. You need to make sure that you put your logo or watermark on them. A bit more editing. You need to make sure they're in the right size for the social media platform you're on, because of course they all use different sizes, and so they all need to be adjusted as to what you need. You need to write newsletters. You need to encourage people to come onto your newsletter list. You need to write product descriptions. The list goes on. Honestly, you would not believe how little time you actually spend crocheting in a crochet business. Which sounds a bit bizarre. But there is so much more to it. And I think a lot of people who start to sell their crochet don't realise how much other things there are to do. And not only that, but how much time these other things take. It's these other things that is why just selling what you make is not a long-term strategy if you want to make crochet your sole income. All of this other stuff is why it's so hard to make a living purely from selling what you make. You have to go online. You have to do the digital options. Because don't forget, crocheting anything takes time. Crochet takes a lot of time. And even something as simple as a shower puff can take an hour. Think about that for a second. What do you want to earn per hour? That's how much profit you need to make from selling one shower puff. And yet, if you go and ask people on Facebook what they would pay for the shower puff, they'll probably say you £5. You can't live on £5 an hour. And this brings about why you need to put so much time into marketing. Because if you just show someone a shower puff and don't tell them the value behind it, don't tell them the skill involved, don't tell them the quality of the yarns you're using or of your skill as a crocheter, they won't value it. And unless you can get across that value, you're going to find it difficult to sell what you're making at the price you need to give you a living wage. It takes a lot of marketing. It takes a lot of getting it out there and showing your audience the value and skill in what you're creating. Taking your business online and selling patterns, writing blogs, making videos, selling courses, it's just so much easier. Because don't forget, when you sell what you make, you have to make it every time you sell it. You don't have to do that with online options. Yes, you spend far less time crocheting by going online, but the profit involved is actually much greater. So, how much time you spend crocheting really depends on which way you choose to make money from your crochet. Sell what you make and you will spend a lot more time crocheting than the other options. But I would say that comes with the caveat of you will also make less money from your crochet. And that can seem very backwards. Surely you don't make less money if you spend more time crocheting. But we are in a world that, well, crochet is seen as a hobby. Why pay for it when grandma can make it for free? That's kind of the mindset people are in. They don't value handmade as much as they do cheap, mass-produced stuff that's made in China or Bangladesh. This mass-produced stuff with a brand label on, even though it's often not very good quality, tens of thousands of people are wearing the same thing, and yet it is valued greater than what you can make with a piece of string and a hook with your bare hands. Which means you really do have to spend the time showing the value of making people see that it is an exclusive thing to own. You have to really make them see the value of your brand. And of course, all that marketing means less time crocheting. It's a fact of business for a crocheter. You will not spend as much time crocheting as you might first think. When you are developing your product line, then you'll crochet. When you are designing your pattern, then you'll crochet. When you're getting ready to take photos for a course or a printable or anything else, you will crochet. But then it stops because you've got to do all the other things afterwards, which is all online, on a computer or on your phone, and there's no crochet. Unless you're selling what you make, you stop crocheting at that point. So, a modern crochet business, you have to get comfortable being on a computer, being on your phone, writing product descriptions, editing pictures, and just spending far less time crocheting than you might think that you were going to originally. How does that make you feel?